Start with the prayers. Om Bhadram Karnebhih Shrunyama Devaah Bhadram Pashye Makshabhiryajatraah Stirairangaihi Sushtruvagum Sashtanuvihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vrittashavaah Swasti na Pusha Vishvavedaah Swasti nastakshorarishthanemihi Swasti no Brihaspati Dadatu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I wish you all a very happy, peaceful, prosperous, and a happy new year. I hope our study of Vedanta continues throughout the year and you are spiritually uplifted. We are studying Mandukya Upanishad, the Shankara Bhashyam, and we are in the 29th verse. And during the last session, we covered what are the misconceptions of Atma. There were 35 different misconceptions which Gaudapadacharya pointed out. And these misconceptions are there even today. During Gaudapadacharya's time, it was there. Shankaracharya times, it was there. Even today, we have misconceptions of who we are. A very basic misconception is, I am the body. The next level of misconception is, I am the mind. Or the next level is, I am a traveling jiva, going from loka to loka. Then there are other types of schools which regard gunas, bhutas, prana, tattvams, lokas, devas. All these are all different misconceptions about what this whole universe is about and what are we. So Atma is regarded as time. Atma is regarded as direction. Atma is regarded as buddhi. So many misconceptions are there. Shankaracharya in one stroke deletes all this and rejects all these theories and says these are all misconceptions of the mind. They're all projections of the mind only. The reality has got nothing to do with the mind. Reality is something which exists independently. Whether there is a person thinking about the reality or not, that is a different matter. But that is his projection. So during this entire balanced Karikas from 29 onwards, you will find Shankaracharya trying to tell us that it is our mind which is the cause of the. We will now get into the Karika number 29. We will first play this Karika.
Yam bhavam darshayed Yam bhavam darshayed yasya tam bhavam satu pashyati tam bhavam satu pashyati tam chavati sabhutvasau tam chavati sabhutvasau tadgraha samupayititam tadgraha samupayititam.
Here Gaudapadacharya says that whatever the seeker is taught by his guru, he will regard that as the ultimate reality. He recognizes that as the ultimate reality and that protects the inquirer. See, the thing is, suppose I believe God in this form, Krishna form, Rama form, Sita form, Devi form is the ultimate reality in this universe, then that particular form will protect me. And that becomes the truth for him. For that seeker, that form becomes the truth. This is what Gaudapada says of why people have got conviction in one form and then they feel that that is the ultimate reality. Ultimate reality, according to Veda, it is Nirguna. There is no form. It is formless Ishvara. That is the ultimate according to Veda. But different philosophers, they superimpose gunas. For example, Vaishnavas, they think Vishnu alone is the reality. Their God alone is the real God. They don't worship other gods. And there are infinite religions in this world. Once you miss this Nirgunam as the ultimate reality, then you believe in Saguna. And all Sagunams are Kalpitam. Kalpitam means they are projections of the mind. And any projection of the mind cannot be there without the Satya Adhisthana. See, this particular point you should remember, because Shankaracharya is going to expand on this one message here, that any superimposition, like rope snake, there has to be an adhisthana called the rope. So similarly, for this entire universe and the projections of our mind with reference to this universe, there has to be a substratum. There has to be a ground on which all this is being projected. Every mithya vastu must have this satyam. And that satyam is what is called as easiness, exists. For example, Vishnu exists, Devi exists, Muhammad exists, Desha, Kala, Vastu, all this is, we say they all exist. That existence principle is from Turiyam Brahma. So Vedanta believes that everything you can accept because everything is coming or it is a projection of that Turiyam only. Every Devata has Nirguna Satyam as the content. In Vedanta Upanishad, they say there are 330 million Devatas. See, Devatas are just powers in this universe. So many powers are there which control this universe. Individual powers are there, and then collectively it is called as Ishvara. In Bhagavad Gita, the 4th chapter, Lord Krishna says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tamstataiva bhajamyaham mama vartmano vartante manushya partha sarvashaha. In whatever form you approach me, I will accept it. So any form in which you can seek God, at a junior level, God says, I will accept it, I will, but then you can't get moksha. For moksha, you should know Nirguna, which is what is mentioned in the 7th mantra of Mandukya Upanishad, which is the central message, mantra of Mandukya. Nanta Prajnam, Avahesh Prajnam. This mantra is the central. It is the central message of the entire Mandukya Upanishad, because in this mantra, Apovada is done. Apovada means negation of 3 states. Once you negate the 3 states of the mind, whatever is the remainder, that is called as Turiya. And that Turiya is Anamakam. Anamakam means you can't give it a name. There is no name because it is not an object. and it is formless, arupam. The same message comes in Bhagavad Gita in the 15th chapter. Narupamasye tatotopalabhyate nanto nacharden nachatam pratishtha. Ashwattamenam suvirudabolam asanga shastrena dridena chitva. This universe is with form, but the substratum on which this universe is appearing and disappearing is formless. That formless is called as Satyam. Yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktaha shraddhaya chitta vichati tasya tasya chalam shraddham taneva vidyamamyaham. So this is another verse of the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which says, with faith, when you approach any form, that form will bless you. So you can go to a church, you can go to a synagogue, you can go to a temple or a mosque, and you pray to that form. The bhakta gets the benefit because the form will bless it. This form could, if it is finite, it will be in time. Any form, if it is finite, it will be in time. The only thing which is formless will be infinite. Infinite means what? It is beyond time. But to reach this formless, Lord Krishna says it is a very, very difficult exercise because it is unmanifest. Kleshodhikatarasteham abhyakta sakta chetasam abhyakta gatir dukkham deha prapyate. So, infinite is very difficult to conceptualize by the mind, but you can know it from the Veda, that there is something like this. In the next Bhashyam 345, Shankaracharya continues to comment upon this 29th mantra. What does he say here? Again, he repeats the same whatever he said. Yam yam bhavam. You can pray, whatever be your method of worship, be it to Vishnu, Shiva, or Devi, that form will bless you. Suppose you go to Sabarimalai, that also is a form. It will bless you. But ultimately, in Bhagavad Gita, it says in the 20th verse of the 10th chapter, Aham Atma Gulakeshaha Sarvabhuta Shastitaha Aham Adishcha Madhyam Cha Bhutanamanta Eva Cha. I am seated as the Atma in all the beings. This is the vibhuti of the Lord. See, we can't recognize this Lord in us because it is in the form of the subject. Anything can be objectified by the sense organs, it is easy. But it is not an object, but it is the subject. That means the Lord Bhagavan comes into all our bodies as aham, I. The I principle. If you want to know where is God, Bhagavan says in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, look within you. Within you, if there is something which says I, this I has never gone out from our body. That I, which is always there, that is the substratum. That is what is the goal of all the Upanishads. The 9th chapter, the 4th verse and the 5th verse, I always tell you, are very, very important verses because it gives you the definition of Lord, which is Abhyakta. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadabhyaktamurtinaha mastani sarvabhutani nachaham teshu vastitaha. This consciousness is formless and it exists because it is revealed by the Upanishads. My body, my sense organs, my mind cannot think about consciousness. But Lord says, this is my form. In Ishavasya Upanishad, they said the first mantra of Ishavasya is Ishavasya sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagate. What is important is idagum sarvam. Everything in the universe is nothing but consciousness. That is the way I have to understand. Because if I see Vedanta, if you understand that consciousness is the substratum, everything else is an appearance which appears and disappears in consciousness. That is the correct way to understand the ultimate teaching of Vedanta. So God blesses in any form in which we meditate. By constantly thinking of that form, the Lord in this particular mantra, in this Karika, it says that the thinker, the meditator, he himself becomes that principle. This can be extended to saying that he gets some of the powers of that Lord which he is meditating. That is a side effect of this type of bhakti. Now, mainly what we have to understand from all this is Turiyam Brahman is with Maya Shakti. That Maya Shakti is never away from Turiya. The three states, the Pancha Koshas, they are all coming from Turiya. So at any point of time, if I want to know myself, I have to just close my eyes and say to myself, I am Turiya Atma. I am the Sat principle in every object in creation. There is no object which can exist without me, the Turiya. So the central message from 20 to 28 is you can worship any Sagunam form, but ultimately it reaches the Nirgunam form of Ishvara. All these Sagunam forms, what is the end result of it? According to Vedanta, the end result of any Sagunam worship is Chitta Shuddhi. Chitta Shuddhi means I get purity of the mind. Otherwise, what happens? All my raga dveshas, they have preoccupations in the mind. By praying to Lord Vishnu, by praying to Ishvara, by praying to any Lord, you may just close your eyes and you can go to your puja room and pray. But that will give you chitta shuddhi. Yet manasana manute yena hur manomatam. Tadeva brahmatam vidhi nedam yadidam upasate. Kena Upanishad. We have done the Kena Upanishad before. The mind depends on consciousness. So mind can project. But what is behind as the substratum, that is what is called as Brahman. So the conclusion from 20th verse to 28th verse is any objectified deity with any form is not reality. It is adhyasa. It is mithya. Objectifying observer consciousness, which is I, aham, alone is satya. Try to understand this principle very, very clearly because this is extremely important statement by Shankaracharya. What is he saying here? There is an observer consciousness principle in all of us. That alone is the ultimate teaching. I am seeing my body, I am seeing the universe. This seen universe, seen body, seen mind is an appearance in consciousness, in Turiya. The waking state, dream state, sleep state, all of them are appearing and disappearing in pure consciousness. If I have to know that consciousness, I have to claim that consciousness as I. There is no other way of knowing this consciousness except by claiming it as my intrinsic nature. Shankaracharya says it may take several births to accept this fact. Because first time we are hearing this, it may not ring a bell in our mind. Keep on hearing this. One day you will say, what Gaudapadacharya and Shankaracharya say in Mandukya Upanishad is the ultimate truth. I am convinced about it. That is all which is required for the benefit of this study. Next, we will go to the 30th Karika.
ये तैरेशो पृथग्भावैः एतैरेशो पृथग्भावैः पृथगेवेति लक्षितः पृथगेवेति लक्षितः एवं यो वेद तत्त्वेन एवं यो वेद तत्त्वेन कल्पयेत् सोऽविशङ्कितः कल्पयेत् सोऽविशङ्कितः.
So in this mantra again, Shankaracharya emphasizes, Gaudapadacharya emphasizes the nature of which alone is. The world is a superimposition, the three states are superimpositions. They are coming and going, they are appearances, but the reality is conscious. If without any hesitation I can accept this fact, then I am free. Free from all types of misconceptions. Etaihi, because of our experiences of Panchabhutas, the Bhautika Prapancha, they are all Maya Shakti, they are all Kalpitam in my mind. It's a projection in my mind. What is the mistake we are committing? There is an Atma which is changeless. It is separate from the material world. It is different from the material world because it is sentient. It is something which can know. Whereas the insentient material body or the mind or the universe is Jadam. This differentiation of Atma and Atma is this differentiation I have to recognize in order to say I am that observer consciousness principle. Why do we call it observer? Observer means knower. I see, I hear, I smell. These are all the observing consciousness. This is not there in the Jada Vastu. You see, in a desk, it is not there. Desk cannot know. Whereas I can know myself as consciousness. Then I can know my body. I can know the world. Atma, Anatma are not two independent realities. They are, Anatma depends on, for example, ring, bangle, they depend on gold. So gold is the reality. Ring and bangle is only a name and form. So what is the mistake they commit? The Puro Pakshis, the mistake they commit is they think that there is some Atma somewhere in future in Samadhi. I will experience Atma. Many seekers also make that mistake. Try to avoid that mistake in yourself. This here Shankaracharya is very clear. He says, don't make the mistake of a future time when I will recognize Atma. Right now, tell yourself, I am Atma. The body experience I'm having, the class experience I'm having is a temporary experience in consciousness. Don't say that after Chitta Shuddhi, after all that, that is only for junior students. I will get the knowledge of Atma. No, that is for a junior student. Now you are in the Mandukya Upanishad Bashyam class. Here, the idea should be I am consciousness. This is in this consciousness, Vyavahara is going on. It can be any type of Vyavahara. You can be eating, you can be sleeping. That is why in Bhagavad Gita it says, Pashyan, Shridman, Chigran, Ashnan, Gachan, the fifth chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So all actions can be going on, but at the same time, I should not forget I am not principle, not the body which is acting. That is why we say, Aham, I am Karta Abhokta. Akarta Abhokta refers to Atma content in me. Pratibodha also refers to the Atma content in me. In every experience, there is a Sat portion and a Chit portion. Mainly, the Sat portion is there in all the objects of the world, in all the beings, there is a Chit portion. Chit portion means knowing faculty. Existence faculty in the material world, in a mountain, in a river, these are all janavastus. They are all having existence. When it comes to the body and mind, especially the mind, it has got consciousness. That consciousness is my real swarupa. That consciousness is not only applicable only to my body, but that consciousness is all pervading consciousness. This a jnani knows. Whereas Ajnani thinks the body is real and world is existing independently. See, many of us also make this mistake. We think that there is a world separate from me. Try to get rid of this notion in your mind. There is no world separate from me. I am the consciousness in which the world is appearing. I am the light. I am the supreme light, spiritual light, the ultimate light. My form is like that. I am assuming that this body is me. Body has its own prarabdha karma because of which it is born and then it disappears. If you have this vision of the world, of your individuality, then what we can say, Atma and Anatma are not two separate things, but Atma is independent, Anatma is dependent on. There is, I cannot escape from Anatma to get moksha. Here and now, in front of the world, in front of my body and mind, I can claim I am Mukta Purushaha. There is no Anatma existing separately. From me, the Turiya Chaitanya. Okay, so this ninth chapter, fourth and fifth verse, Shankaracharya quotes most in every out of every 10 verses, you will find this verse repeating again and again. Maya katamidam sarvam jagatapyaktamurtinaha. What it really is telling us is the message of Adhyaropa and Pavada, which is the central methodology followed in all the Upanishads. Whether you do Mandukya, whether you do Bashyam Upanishad, this principle of Adhyaropa means what? I take the body, mind, and then I superimpose on. Then what will I say? This entire world is existing in Atma. That is Adhyaropa. Then after this first stage, the second stage is what? The first stage is the fourth mantra, chapter 9. The second stage is what? The fifth mantra. I do Pavada. Pavada means what? In my own mind, I say, this body mind doesn't exist independently. I am existing independently, exactly like its sleep state. I don't have any. I don't have any superimposition of body or indriyams or mind or the world in me. Which means what? In the sleep state, the world which I am thinking it is there, it is gone. It appears and it disappears. That is the central message of Mandukya Upanishad, where it says the three avasthas are coming and going. Whereas Turiyam, the substratum, is the ultimate truth. Asato vidyate bhavaha nabhavo vidyate sataha. This is talking about Turiya Atma. This Turiya Atma does not drop its existence at any time. Therefore, it is a reality. But what about the world and the body and mind? They have existence and then they drop the existence. That is why we call it as Mithya. Okay, so Shankaracharya, for this is the gist of the 30th Karika. So far, it is the gist given by Shankaracharya. Now, he expands on this gist and he says, now I will comment on this mantra. He doesn't write a very big commentary, but it's just a small commentary. There, he refers to Brahadanya Upanishad, second chapter, fourth section, sixth mantra, and then fourth chapter, fifth section, seventh. I will show you the mantras, then you can see. There he says, Idam sarvam yadayam atma. Very, very important mantras of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. See, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is a very, very voluminous Upanishad. But there are about 25 mantras which Shankaracharya uses very often. These two are one of the few mantras in this 25. Idam sarvam yadayam atma. The entire universe is nothing but this pure consciousness. If you can understand this, you have understood this entire Upanishad. Because on this topic of Idam Sarvam Yadayam Atma, the whole Upanishad rests. Idam Sarva. Sarva means the whole Jagat, whether it is the stars, these are all material. You can have any amount of plurality, but as long as you know it is mithya, you can have any number, you can have billions of people. Then they're all mithya, according to Upanishad. What is Satyam? Satyam is Turiya Atma, which holds all this. It is Sarva Adharam. I think word is independently existent till I come to Veda. See, till I come to Mandukya Upanishad, there I recognize I am Atma and world is Anatma. World is dependent on Atma. Till I know this fact, I am in ignorance. I am small. I am dependent on the world. World is so big. Now, what do I conclude? The I am the mind. Now, this conclusion is because the differentiation comes between consciousness and the world, consciousness and the body and mind. The difference comes because of Maya Shakti. There is a Shakti which covers this truth of consciousness. And then it projects as if I am separate and the world is separate. There is a Veda. The Veda difference comes because of Maya Shakti. Jiva Veda. I feel I am different from my son, my daughter. Jagat Veda. Objects in the world are different. Jiva Jagat Veda. I am different than the world. Jagat and Ishvara. There is a creator who created this world. All these are all the job of Maya Shakti. Maya Shakti deludes all of us through projections of our own mind. That is why, if you want to know what is Maya Shakti, look within yourself, and any time, especially when you wake up from sleep, you can feel your mind vibrating. As soon as you wake up in the morning and you close your eyes, even for 1 minute you lie in the bed, you can see the mind vibrating with Rajoguna. That Rajoguna is Maya Shakti. It is that Maya Shakti when I open my eyes and I start operating the world, I start seeing the differences. It is the Shakti of that pure Ishvara. And as a Jiva, the only thing I can do is recognize that Shakti in this body. The moment I recognize that Shakti, that mind, which is vibrating, it is vibrating without my will. There is no willpower. I am not pushing that mind to think about anything. So Shankaracharya here quotes these two mantras, 246. This is the mantra where it says that one sees, here it says one sees the other as different because of Maya Shakti. God is different, I am different, Kshatriya, Brahmana, all these are all differences because of Maya. This is the second mantra, the fourth chapter. Fourth chapter is Swayam Jyoti Brahmana. And here also, what he says is that one who knows that their whole world is, there is only one consciousness, he is the real Brahmana. Jnani is the real Brahman. Otherwise, he is just a Guna Brahman. Idayam sarvam yadayam atma iti shruti. So in this verse, the last portion, idam sarvam yadayam atma. This is the realization of a mumukshu who finally says, I know this consciousness, it is everything in the universe. The sense organs are designed to report duality as per the law of karma. See, for karma, phalam, see, what do we do during our whole life? Keep on doing actions. From morning to night, we are just acting. Either physical activity, mental activity, or just perceiving. You are listening to some music. It's again an activity. But that activity is all dependent on the sense organs and the organs of action. Now, these two are operating with reference to a law of karma. A jnani, he knows that this is what is operation. Whereas Ajnani will think what? I am acting. I am getting the result. No, drop that notion from your mind. When you drop that I am a karta and a bhokta, what happens is automatically you become a sakshi. And when you become a sakshi, you will not commit the mistake of other people when they project something, they think that that is what is real. You will say all projections of the mind are nothing but delusions of the mind. Yasyaiva swaranam sadatmakam asatkalpartakam bhasate sakshat tattvavasi veda vachasa. This is Dakshinamurti Stotram number 3. So here the jnani recognizes, I am that sak, I am that pure consciousness. Sakshat. Sakshat means I claim that as my nature. This is what Dakshinamurti wants to teach me. Dakshinamurti's stotrams are very, very, very powerful. They have got very deep meaning. I've covered it in my previous sessions, and you will find it in the class folder. So in this section, Shankaracharya takes these two mantras, 246 and 457, and he tries to give us the central message that everything in this world is nothing but Kriya Atma. Whoever knows the central message in this manner, he is a jnani. Is Ishvara also superimposed on Atma? This is a question. Body is superimposed. Mind is superimposed. What about the Creator himself? Is he superimposed on this Atma? Ishvara, there are two possibilities. One is Ishvara is Kalpita. Then it is superimposed. It is one of the objects in creation. It is Anatma. But suppose I say that Ishvara is Aham, as said in the 20th verse of the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Ahamatma Gunayakesh. That Aham is Ishvara in this body. At any time I want to recognize that Ishvara, Lord Krishna says, this is the mantra. Ahamatma Gunayakesh Sarvabhuta. So if you want to recognize Ishvara, you just have to close your eyes and say, I can, without your projection of the mind, you can say that that Ishvara is the consciousness in my mind. All of us, all human beings can recognize that consciousness because it is reflected in our mind. The Buddhi Vedam Janaye, Jnana Karma Sanghina. Don't try to unsettle the people. Just because you know this, if others are ready, they ask you to explain, they want to learn this Atma principle, then you can teach them. In your own, don't try to go and ask them, do you know Atma? No, don't try to do that because you confuse them. So, Jnani ultimately knows I am Nirvikalpa, awareness, Chaitanyam, consciousness, then not during when my body was born. not when my body is gone, not when my in the waking state, dream state, sleep state. All the time, I am nirvikalpaha. Nirvikalpaha means what? Veda rahita. Don't have any differences. Sajatiya, Vijatiya, Swagata Bheda. Sajatiya Bheda means what? Me and another living being. Body is different, but consciousness is one. So there is no Sajatiya Bheda in consciousness. What about Vijatiya Bheda? Vijati means Jiva and Jagat. There are two different things. One is Jiva, another is Jagat. Jagat is material. Jiva sentient, Achetanam, Chetanam. All are nothing but one Turiyam. Jiva Jagat Bheda doesn't exist because Jiva is also Turiyam. Jagat is also Turiyam. Jiva is Sajatiya. Jiva Jagat is Vijatiya. What about Swagata Veda? Is there any part in consciousness? There is no parts in consciousness. Like we have fingers, we have different organs in the body. They are all parts. All the parts they become one whole body. But in Turiyam, it has no parts. It is partless. It is nir-avayava. Suppose you understand this aspect of that it is sajatiya rahitaha, it is vijatiya rahitaha, swagata bheda rahitaha. There is no differences in this consciousness. Then you know what is called as Nirguna Atma. In order to understand this, what you should remember, the three avasthas, the five koshas, and the three sharirams, they are all superimpositions on Atma. Like rope snake is a superimposition on rope, on the easiness of the rope. Similarly, the entire world is nothing but it is a mithya world. The adhishtanam for that is Turiyam. Dakshinamurti Stotram number 2. Earlier we saw third mantra, now the second mantra. So these are talking about Turiyam only. Second mantra also talks about Turiyam. Bijasyanti ankuru jagadidam tam nirvikantam punaha maya kalpita desha kala kadana. In this mantra, what is most important is maya kalpitam. It is maya shakti which projects the time and space. And in time and space, the whole world is appearing and disappearing. Naisha tarkena matmati rapaneya. This knowledge you cannot obtain by logic. You can only know this knowledge of Chaitanyam as the independent principle only from the Veda Pramana. The Jnani who knows the Veda consists of two portions, Veda Purva and Veda Anta. Veda Purva portion is for Chitta Shuddhi, for purifying the mind so that I have an appropriate instrument to receive this knowledge, to absorb this knowledge, claim this knowledge as my soul. It's not easy. Vedanta portion is the ultimate praman for Advaita. But to get this knowledge, I need to have a pure mind without any preoccupation. Otherwise, what will happen? While I'm listening to itself, my mind will start projecting something. There are three groups of people. One is Dvaitam alone is Satyam, which is Veda Purva. Dvaitam, not Advaita. Dvaitam alone is Satyam. That is, Bheda is Satya. If you believe in this, there is no moksha according to Shankaracharya. There is another group. He says, why you say Dvaitam and Advaitam keep on fighting? You say there is Bheda also, there is Abheda also. From Atma standpoint of view, there is Abheda. There is from the world standpoint, there is Bheda. World is also there. Atma is also there. This is Visishta. It accepts duality and non-duality. It's wrong. You cannot get moksha. Ultimately, moksha is possible in Advaitam alone. See, Shankaracharya brings in so many points when we do this type of commentary. See, for one verse, he writes so many. I mean, I'm explaining in so many slides. So, for one mantra, so much he tries to explain, and you get different viewpoints of different aspects of Veda. So, Pramana Vakyam is the source of knowledge. Arthavada Vakyam is glorification of Veda. So, Mahavakyam is the ultimate source of knowledge. Anytime when, when you want to know what is the central message of, say, Veda, how should you know this? You must use 6 clues. What are the 6 clues? It's very popular in Vedanta. The first is Upakrama Upasamhara. What does the Veda say in the beginning? What does it say in the end? Apurvatam. Does it talk about something which I don't know? Unique thing, Apurvatam. In the beginning also, Veda says the Lord alone was there. In the end also it says Lord alone is. So what is Veda trying to reveal? It is trying to reveal that consciousness which is alone there. Apurvatam means what? Consciousness is different than material. Material things we know. Our sense organs can perceive. All material things it can perceive. But the unique thing Veda reveals is the nature of Atma as Chaitanya. Abhyasa and Abhava. Abhyasa means what does it repeat? Repeatedly it says Tattvamasi, Tattvamasi. You are that, you are that. Even in Mandukya Upanishad, again and again it is concentrating on the 7th mantra, which is the repetition. Arthavada is glorification. The word is glorified. That is only Arthavada. It is not the primary knowledge of the Veda. And the last is, the 6th clue is, does learning the Veda give me the phalam? The phalam is moksha phalam. Moksha is ultimately the result of knowledge. It is not a result of any karma. It is a result of knowledge. When to learn this principle of Atma Turiyam, I need a Shrotriya Brahman Nishta Guru. One who is well versed in the Veda, who can bring together all these types of mantras together to reveal that truth. See, we are using so many mantras here during our Bashyam study, and different views are given in different topics. For example, here we are studying Vivek Chodamani, we are studying the 6 clues, how to understand the Veda. These are all different methodologies which Shankaracharya brings it out in his commentary. The next commentary of Shankaracharya, he gives the opposite side. He says, one doesn't know the Atma, he can never understand the meaning of the Veda itself. neither can he interpret the Veda, neither he will know the meaning. And he cannot get the benefit of the source of knowledge. Because Veda is supposed to be a source of knowledge. Veda, what are the different ways in which Veda is brought about? Puranas, Itihasa. Itihasa means Ramayana, Mahabharata. Karma Kanda portions, that is the Veda Purva. Upasana Kanda, the meditation portions. All this is Veda. But then you know what is the central message. Jnana Kanda is the central message. You come to Jnana Kanda, then what happens? The parts of the Vedas become clearly understood. Suppose you know consciousness is the ultimate revelation of all this Veda. The Veda Pura portion is very, very voluminous. But ultimately, when you come to Vedanta, it says Atma alone is Satyam. It independently exists. It lends existence to Anatma. What about Anatma, the body, mind, and the world? It is Mithya. What is the meaning of Mithya? Meaning of Mithya is it is dependently existent. And it borrows existence from. See, this borrows existence and independently existence. These two principles you will know when you look back at your sleep state. In the sleep state, I alone am as Surya. The mind, the body, the world, they get the easiness from superficially. It appears that Atma exists independently and the world also exists independently. Only when you inquire into this aspect of the world, then you understand the world is mithya. It has got experienceability, transactability, and utility. Exactly like the Swapna. In Swapna, there is an ETU. There is an experience of Swapna, there is transactions in Swapna, there is utility in Swapna. Same thing happens in waking also. In the waking state also, the existence portion is given out by Turiya. One who knows this alone can get full benefit of moksha. Manusmriti says, one who is proficient in this knowledge gets the rewards of moksha. Manusmriti deals with varna dharma, ashrama dharma, and Veda. But the ultimate teaching is not the varna dharma and ashrama dharma. But Manusmriti is a text. And it is very beautifully, mainly it teaches dharma, how to live a life of dharma in this world. That is what is the essence of Manusmriti. It is available in Google. You can go and read about Manusmriti. But the essential part of Manusmriti is, don't forget, it is Atma jnana. Okay. Now, there are two other points about objection to this study and what Shankaracharya replies to that. I'll skip that portion. It's not very relevant here. Okay. All this is regarding the Purvapakshi who says that Vedanta is not a commandment, but you see, this is a slightly confusing area, so I don't want to get into this. Veda Purva is a commandment. Vedanta is not a commandment, it is a revelation. This is what Shankaracharya is trying to say in this portion of debate or portion where he talks about what is Veda Purva and what is Veda Anta. Veda Purva is basically dealing with rituals. Very, very voluminous portion. Very, very voluminous. You will require a full life to study Veda Purva portion. And it deals with rituals and what you can gain out of rituals, different lokas. Basically, you do rituals because you believe that I want to have a superior. What Shankaracharya says is that is all fine, but it won't give you moksha. You come to study the Anta portion, there it is not a commandment. The Purva is a commandment. The Anta is not a commandment, but it's a pramanam. It is a source of knowledge about reality of the universe. Okay. Now, next Karika, Shankaracharya introduces in this topic number 351. What I've done is for each of the paragraph of Shankaracharya, I have put a topic number so that we don't miss out on all these portions when we study the Bhashya. Now, every time when the new Karika comes, Shankara, most of the time, he will introduce the next Karika by way of an explanation. Now, here in this, for the next Karika, which is the 31st Karika, what he says is, Vedanta Pramana alone is revealing this art. It is not through logic. It is a pramanam. See, you can logic is also a pramanam, but what he wants to say is in this 31st Karika, he says that Gaudapadacharya wants to prove that Shabda Pramanam is Veda. Shabda can't give commandment. Shabda is only a revelation. Pramanam cannot do action. Okay. Veda Purva is Vidhi Bhakyam, whereas Veda Anta is Bodha Vakyam. Bodha Vakyam means knowledge, focused on knowledge. Now, who causes the different states of waking, dream, sleep? It is Ishvara, the Maya Shakti. But who owns that Shakti? It is Turiya Chaitanya. See, we all go through these three states continuously without a stop. Did you ever question why and how? Who is controlling these three states? The controller is what is called as Turiya Chaitanya. So from the experience angle, you will say that the world is real, which is relatively real. But from the ultimate standpoint, it is pure consciousness or Turiya, which is real. Very say relatively real. Actually, what Shankaracharya is, what we are saying is, it is unreal. Turiyam is Satyam. Three states are Mithya. And what is the logic used by Shankaracharya and Gaudapadacharya in this second chapter? Always remember this. Throughout the second chapter, Shankaracharya uses the logic of Drishyatva. Word is appearance. Therefore, it is mithya like swapna. I have repeated this many times. In almost every talk, I have repeated this. Throughout the second chapter, why do we say world is mithya? Because it is like swapna. It is, the waking state is also like swapna, mother. And Gautapadacharya says, Anityatva. World doesn't have a beginning, it doesn't have an end. Therefore, even in between, it is not there. That is the ultimate logic used by Gautapadacharya. But what about the observer? Observer of the waking state, observer of the dream state, both the observers are nothing but Turiya Chaitanya. We should use logic as a supportive logic, not as a primary pramanam. What is the pramanam we have to use? We have to use Shastra pramanam. The Upanishadic mantra, the seventh mantra, is the Shastra pramanam for Artha. I will just introduce, if I have time, I will see. I have another 5-7 minutes. I will try to introduce this 31st Karika.
स्वप्नमाये यथा दृष्टम् स्वप्नमाये यथा दृष्टम् गन्धर्वनगरं यथा गन्धर्वनगरं यथा तथा विश्वमिदं दृष्टम् तथा विश्वमिदं दृष्टम् वेदान्तेषु विचक्षणैः वेदान्तेषु विचक्षणैः.
So here Gaudamacharya is trying to conclude the second chapter. In the next verse, 32nd verse, he will give you a summary of the second chapter. Very, very important 32nd Karika. Now he is just trying to tell us what did we study in the second chapter. Basically, what we are saying is that waking state is like a dream or like a magic show. Both are illusions. Exactly like we have, we keep on imagining certain palace city in the sky. It is pure imagination. We see the clouds, and then on the clouds we superimpose, oh, this is the palace, this is the entrance, this is the dome of the palace, and so on. So an experienced Vedantin clearly knows that waking is very similar to dream or magic. In this verse, Gaudamacharya is trying to tell us it is mithya. World which we experience is mithya. World is relatively real. That is why we call it mithya. Relatively real means what? In the waking state, when I'm in the waking state, it is real. The dream for a dreamer in dream, it is real. But only from the scriptures, we understand that the waking is real like dream. So Veda gives logical support for assimilating this knowledge the Veda of the Veda. Veda gives logical to understand the central message. For example, suppose that you want to pour in a vessel milk, and suppose you take a bottle and you want to pour the vessel, you want to pour the milk into the narrow bottle. What do? You use a funnel. Now the funnel is the conveyor of the teaching. It is only an instrument. Veda is only an instrument to convey the teaching to us. The Shastra, it cannot directly go into our head. It requires the funnel. The funnel is nothing but the teacher, the guru. So Kathopanishad says very clearly, don't use logic for understanding the Veda. Use the Veda Pramana. That means the mantras which say Sneha Nana Kinchana, there is no word at all. These are all the examples which Shankaracharya will give in the next verse, in the next Karika. Here what he says is Swapna, Maya, like Maya here means magic show. And Gandharva Nagari, Sky City. So all these are illusions. Jagrat Avastha is also similar to that. Why? Because during the Jagrat only, we imagine so many things about us and about the world. All these are all mental projections only. They are relatively real, but from the absolute Turiam standpoint, they are not real. Understanding Vedanta requires understanding Turiyam as Sakshi, Brahman, Advaitam. This is one aspect which is said in the seventh one. Also, we should understand the second portion, which is that the three avasthas, waking, dream, and sleep state, are pertaining to the mind of a jiva. They are the observers of a particular state. They are all mithya. But what is the ultimate satyam? Ultimate satyam is I am neither the observer principle in the waking state, dream state, sleep state, because those are related. My real nature is I am an independent Turi. That is why we call it Karya Karana Vilakshana. So this is Shankaracharya's commentary on this mantra. Okay, I will take up this commentary next week. I'll start with the commentary next week from this slide, from 354th topic. I will start next week because it's a slightly longer commentary. After this, there will be this 32nd mantra. Na nirodho na chotpati. You see, that is a very, very popular mantra of Mandukya Upanishad, which we will be taking up most probably next week. So please attend so that you can get the gist of the entire second chapter. So I will stop here. Oh, Chare, formless. Eva Vasishyate. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Okay, good. Yeah, JP has given a comment on the chat box. What he has said is very correct. In the beginning, that pure consciousness was there. That pure consciousness is Brahman or Ishvara. The same Ishvara is appearing today as me, the Jiva. That is what is called as Adhyaropa. I drop the Jivatvam from this body mind, which is Apavada, which is negation, and then I own up that original Atma, which is Ishvara, as the ultimate in creation. So JP, you understood is what you understood is correct, and always use adhyaropa and apavada. Only but when you use this in meditation also, the three states of consciousness, waking, dream, and sleep, first you say these are there. They are adhyaropa. They are superimposed on me, the consciousness. And then what do you say? Then you say these three states are not there. Exactly like the Bhagavad Gita, that 9th chapter, 4th and 5th verse. The world is there in me, the world is not there in me. World is there in me is adhyaropa. World is not there in me is apavada. In sleep state, the world is not in me. Then you say, I am Turiya Atma. I am always there. World is appearing and disappearing, but Turiya Atma is always there. This pure consciousness, it is me, my nature. Today's session has been mainly to teach this aspect of this nature of our consciousness. Today, the whole talk was only to say, I am real, the world is unreal. JP, you have understood what I said. Do you have any further questions on this? Shanmugam is meeting everybody now.
I got your explanation and also, but the problem is that only the problem that during the meditation, also after the meditation, that individuality is coming again, surfacing on me.
Yes. You see, when it comes, you should say, this is Maya Shakti. It is Maya Shakti, which is now showing me the difference between me and the world. Not in meditation, I can appreciate it, that I am alone there. I am Turiya Atma. But the moment I open my eyes, what happens? I see differences. I see the room, I see my house, I see my body, I see my mind. All this you tell yourself, this is Maya Shakti. It is Maya Shakti which causes the delusion in my mind, and it says the world is different, I am different, all the beings are different. It is all Maya.
Hello.
Yeah, have you understood now?
Yeah, I got it. The problem is again that again we are going back to the world. That has to be controlled. I am not able to control that.
No, don't control it. Only stay in Maya Shakti. That's all. Don't try to control. You will never be able to control it. As long as you're in the waking state, you will never be able to control the waking experiences at all. Don't. It is a knowledge. You see, what you do is Veda, you take it as like an eye. To see the form and color, I use my eyes. To hear the sound, I use my ears. So you say, through Veda, I know my earth.
Okay.
That's all. Don't try to experience Atma in the waking state and say, no, where is Atma? I suddenly cannot see my Atma. You will be always like this throughout your life. Because the body and mind is still with self-ignorance and it is going through its prarabdha. As Atma, I have to say, I have knowledge of the Atma using the scriptures. Use the scriptures and say, scriptures have shown me that vision of pure consciousness, which alone is. I remember that vision in my mind, then I carry on with my activities. That's all. Let the activities run.
Okay, thank you, Chekarji.
Thank you, JP. This is extremely important because this is the real problem which everybody faces. I open my eyes immediately. I put on my chappals and I start saying, where is Atma and all that? No, it is a vision. Use the Veda Upanishad as just a vision for my intellect. My intellect has got the vision of the Veda, which says Atma alone is. My eyes will always see duality. My indriyams will always show me duality, plurality, and so on. Experience of plurality will continue in spite of the knowledge of non-duality. Like, for example, the sunrise, sunset. It will be, I will still see the sun rising and sun setting. But what is the knowledge? Sun never rises. It is the earth which is going round the sun. So similarly, during our waking state, you just say, I have the knowledge. It is a source of knowledge. For Atma only. For Veda, it cannot use for anything else. It is a pramanam. It is a source of knowledge. Like, for example, Mandukya Upanishad says, the waking state is mithya. It is appearance. Don't question this after this. Say it is an appearance. Exactly, like a dream came yesterday. Today it is not there. Similarly, the waking state, today it has happened. I ended the class. Tomorrow it is not there. So that is the nature of the world.
Okay, thank you. And the problem is that the orientation, we have to change our orientation.
Exactly. You have to change your mental orientation. That is what is called as transformation. And the transformation ultimately, how should you live your life? It is binary format. What is binary format? Atma, Atma format. I am Atma. All the time you say I am Atma, world is Anatma. I am Atma, world is Anatma. And what about the world? It is an appearance. Exactly like the dream came, dream went. Yesterday was the first of the month, the new year, everybody celebrated. Everybody sent me messages on the mobile. And then today it's all gone. That is the nature of the world. That you see, the nature that is what my eyes will always see. My eyes will always see duality. But non-duality is the truth. Advaitam is the truth. One who realizes this, he is the person who can say, I am Mukta Purusha. I am free.
Okay.
Because I have this knowledge.
Okay.
Good. Thank you, JP. Okay. Nandu is saying, Idam Sarvam Yadayama Atma, brother. Is it the same meaning of Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma Chandogya? Yes, it is. It is the same message, Nandu, of Chandogya Upanishad, very, very correctly put. Everything in this universe is this pure coin. See, Brahman or Turiyam, you replace it with consciousness, it'll make a lot of meaning for you. Because if the moment you say Brahman and all that, you feel it is very distant. It is an object. The moment you say consciousness, and you keep on saying, I am that consciousness, then what will happen? This entire experience of Drishyam is nothing but it is a projection in consciousness. Good. It's a good comparison between Bharadamika and Chandogya. Anything else you want to say, Nandu?
No, thank you, sir. Hariom.
Okay, thank you. Shama, you have a question?
Shekaji, Hari Om.
Yeah.
I first want to express my grateful thanks. Today's session has been enormously wonderful. As you went along, there were lots and lots of questions which were coming to my mind. But by the time you finished the meditation, it is almost like the doorway is there, the marga is clear, because so far I think I have seen the Vedanta study, a scriptural study. It almost seemed like an intellectual study, which I'm very glad that I persevered. I believed it is Atma Jnanam. And now I am convinced it is Atma Jnanam, because when you start to see the beginning of the light, you know you are in the right place 100%, So I'm very delighted about that. And that started with one of your statements which you made today, that the Maya Shakti, and suddenly I was feeling, well, if Maya Shakti is so strong, shall I always be under, not shall I thought, well, I'm under the control of Maya Shakti. What freedom do I have? Then you said a very important statement like, the controller is Turiya Chaitanya. You made this statement. The controller of this whole drama is the Turiya Chaitanya. And then I thought, yes, of course. It's the Atman, even the ordinary waking. The first thing I am, I can see the world, I can see myself, I can see where is what. Even that experience is actually coming from the light of the Atma, isn't it? If the Atma consciousness is not there, I shall not be able to see it. Is there? I would not.
Yes.
So that's a very ordinary waking, I'm saying, So I said it starts from there, and depending on what kind of, so it's like, what should I say? To me, it feels like that unconsciously we are conscious of the Atman throughout our, at least definitely waking life. We are conscious, but we just don't know it. Now, if we put an intention, like you keep saying, abidance in the Atma, saying to yourself, I am the Atma in almost all experience. The moment I put that intention, then that makes it completely different. Then you mention about the funnel, So all the scriptural teaching, what you are doing is actually allowing that whole of that scattered knowledge into a funneling. And then I was thinking, so what should the disciple do? The disciple has to try and somehow get all this knowledge into, not all this knowledge, basically it's only one knowledge, isn't it, of the Atma Jnanam. How can you do is by light, the light which is scattered, how can I focus it? And that proved in your meditation, when you meditate, that is your chance. So the more I can contemplate, the more I can meditate. It's very evident, it's very clear. It's the practice more and more of contemplation into these ideas and meditation. So these are probably nothing new. You've probably been saying all along, but I'm just saying it's only today that it has completely sunk in, and I have no doubts in the process. Thank you.
Thank you, Shama. You have summarized the whole teaching, the whole process of learning. This is the beauty of our sessions, because in a short time of, say, 2 hours, we are able to understand grasp the depth of the Upanishads study. So, and meditations like what I did today, the Taittiriya Upanishad meditation, Yato Imani Bhutani, that verse is very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. People get lost in meditations and they keep saying, I don't know how to meditate. But once you learn this Vedantic style of meditation, you will see yourself progressing in spirituality. You'll see yourself growing in spirituality. The beauty of these Vedantic meditation is using the Upanishadic mantras for assimilating the same truth in me, myself. When I say I am the pure consciousness, and the whole world is rising in me, resting in me, and resolving into me, there is no other message in the entire Vedantic Upanishadic literature which is as powerful as this one mantra of Taittiriya Upanishad. It is the
It's
same.
very convincing, because sometimes the mind, it debates between the Saguna, Bhakti and Nirguna and all of that. And I feel really each one to his own temperament. I find it very difficult for Saguna, kind of meditation. But this is something, I think, because the mind works over time. But this is really, so it's really through the same process which disturbs you, you can actually use the same method to actually get into the right place. So I think Vedantic meditation definitely, and the way you do it is amazing, beautiful. Thank you.
Okay, Shama, thank you. Anybody else has a question?
Yes, sir. Vishal, yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Vishal, go ahead.
So Jai Shri Ram, sir. I'm seeing you after a couple of months, and you're looking very fine and very active and and younger. So I must mention that.
1 year has gone by.
So there were some clarifications of some terminologies, and just let me know if it's correct or what's the difference. The first thing was when we use the terms Brahman, Sakshi, Turiyam, and Advaitam. These are for the Nirguna
Yes,
Brahman.
all for Nirguna.
These, and when we use the terminology nomenclature Ishwar, that is for the Sagun.
Correct.
Sagun.
Absolutely correct.
And the Ishwar means like Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, Krishna, Ram,
Correct.
all these.
Yes, all. That is
And
all Saguna.
yes, sir. And all these are controlling the Maya and are also within the Maya. They are not. And my first question is that when we use the nomenclature omnipresent, omnipotent, all powerful, non-knowledgeable, and all that, are we using these nomenclatures for the Nirgun or the Sagun or for both?
No, only for Saguna.
Only for Sagun.
Only for Sagunam, you say it is omnipotent, omniscient, it is all powerful. It is all for only one God, Bhagavan, Lord. You can call it Muhammad, you can call it Jesus, you can call it. These are all only Sagunam forms. Only the moment you talk about the world, you talk about power, you talk about anything to do with Jiva, Jagat, all this is all Saguna. It is all Anatma.
So all these gods are within Maya and they're controlling the
Yes,
Maya. But
that's
is
correct.
Maya also applicable to them, or they are aware of the Maya
They are
and they are
aware of
not?
Maya. They are aware of Maya. That is why, as a jnani, suppose you also become aware that there is a Maya Shakti in this body mind. It is showing me all types of experiences in life, but I am not this Maya. That's all. Then
And
because
they are
you
also under karma.
yes, Maya is also a part of karma only, karma phala only.
So these Ishwars are also under karma.
You see, the thing is, he knows he is a karma phala data, whereas a jiva is karma phala bhokta. He is the one who gives results of actions. He is a controller. I am only a small body mind which has got very, very infinitesimal power of just having small little powers of enjoyment, this, that. My knowledge of the world is absolutely infinitesimal. I really don't know. You see, the thing is, we think that we know, but the real truth is we don't know the body, we don't know the mind, we don't know the world. That is why it is called as self-ignorance, Maya.
And we cannot even know the Brahman, because the moment the mind is not designed or is incapable of understanding or imagining the infinite, and therefore even if we try to imagine the Brahman, it's a wrong imagination, because the mind only thinks or imagines in objects, and it is not an object. So the Brahman cannot also be imagined as such. It has to just be I don't know what to say, but it can't be.
Yes. Okay. Up to this point, you're right. But what you don't know or what you have missed out is, I am going to use the torchlight of Upanishads. You see, you use the torchlight of Upanishads. Upanishads is saying waking dream state is one part of it. What it says is, it is all appearance. Don't take it as real. But the second part of the Upanishad is what? It says there is an adhishtanam for this Maya world. That adhishtanam is my real nature. I am that pure consciousness, which is Satyam, Shivam, Advaitam, which is Brahman, which is Turiyam. All these are only names, but they are all pertaining to one reality. That reality, I should not objectify it. I should say, I am that reality.
Claim it, like you use the word claim, sir, right?
I always say claim. I am that consciousness. Always say, don't say consciousness exists. Say, I am consciousness. Don't say there is a Ishvara existent. No, I am that existent principle. Then what happens is I'm not objectifying. I'm only claiming what the Upanishad is telling me is my nature. What I've been thinking so far is this body. This body is me, but nobody has told me that this body is not me. It is only this Veda which comes and tells me I am something different than the body.
Right. Thank you, sir. Understood, sir.
Good, very good, Vishal. Your thinking pattern is very clear, and I'm quite sure you are quite knowledgeable in the Veda. You have written books also. Very good. I'm very happy that you have got so much.
I must mention, sir, that whatever I am today, whatever little knowledge I have in the vast infinite knowledge thing is all because of you. And you are an amazing soul. And without you, I would have not been able to even understand 1%. I was lost. So thank you. Aapko naman karta hu. And I prostrate with full body, even though I'm a heavy person and it's difficult for me to lie down to. But
don't worry. You do namaskar to the Lord. It is Shankaracharya who is blessing all of us with this teaching. And it is Lord's wish that we are learning this today in our lifetime. That's all. Deepak, how are you?
Namaskar, Shikhaji. Very happy to be here to you, sir.
Happy New Year, Deepak.
Lovely to see you. Very interesting today's session. And I've been going through everybody's comments. I just, this whole concept of Adhyarupa and Apaveda, I understand is really a simultaneous process that takes place of superimposition as a cognitive error and the negation of that to try and understand like the pot and the clay. So when you superimposition the pot on the clay, and when you negate the pot, the clay, the adhishtanam is the reality.
That's correct.
The pot. So that cognitive error, ignorance of knowledge, whatever it is.
Yes.
I feel that whole process, when I sort of do it my own way of sort of looking at that the Sakshi or trying to sort of visualize, is constantly trying to do that first from the Swapna state. I find that easier to do, which means when I get up from my sort of sleep, the Swapna state, I sort of say, okay, this was not true. This was a superimposition, and now I'm awake. That superimposition was on this waking state. Now, when we reach the waking state of this whole process of negating, there are so many ways of negating by saying, I'm not this body, I'm not this mind. But then when we sort of start intellectualizing it, I find that the only way to do it is not through meditation, but through an intellectual process by understanding that this body, mind, and this form is merely an appearance in consciousness, that this mind and body and this form is something that is dependent reality. It is not independent, and therefore there is a consciousness that is the adhishtanam that gives rise to this experience. And then sort of you say, okay, therefore I'm witnessing this superimposition, illusionary world, but it is a reality, but it's not this thing. Is that the way to go about it? Is that the way to sort of?
That's correct. See, these are the path. What you're saying is the path of self-realization. as you do this meditation, as you do this thinking process in your own mind again and again, a time will come when your own mind will say, I am consciousness, there is nothing else. That's all. Till the time you continue this manana. You see, now I can see there is a lot of manana which is happening in you,
Yes,
which was not there 2 years ago.
certainly.
It was not there 2-3 years ago, but now you have started doing manana because you have done a fair amount of shravan. So let this process continue. As you hear more and more, what will happen is this concept, what is called as consciousness, it will gel for you. It will become meaningful for you. It will not be something like an object. It will be the subject. Till that happens, you continue. The moment you start understanding, I am that consciousness without any thinking. It becomes a part of your vasana in your mind. It becomes a nature. Till that time, continue this listening of scripture.
Till it becomes a spontaneously
Becomes
happening.
yes.
And this, I would imagine, is equivalent to what Ramana Maharshi had said about self-inquiry, in a sense.
Exactly.
That's
See,
it.
the thing is with Ramana Maharishi, he is a great rishi.
Yeah.
He has got certain ways of teaching. His style of teaching is slightly different.
Right.
He has realized the same truth.
Yes.
Exactly the same truth. You see, all the Swamijis, Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Paramahasa, all of them have realized the same truth. But when we study Vedanta, Upanishads, we get a methodology.
Yes.
Like this Adhyaropa, Apavada, like this Adhyatmika, Adidaivika, we get a methodology of trying to put together so that my mind can understand it. That's what happens when we do Vedantic study.
Thank you, Shekharji.
Thank you. Deepak, happy New Year to all of you. Thank you. Yeah, anybody else has any other questions? Otherwise, Shama, do you want to explain what you're writing here?
Shikaji, no, it's just, like what Descartes says, that I am, therefore I think. Actually, it should be turned around in a Vedantic term. I am, therefore I think, therefore I speak, therefore I do, and experience the world the way it is, the way I experience it. And my experience, obviously, will be therefore different from anyone else's. The perceptions will differ, and hence this bhavasagar of emotions will be, it will continue. Bhavasagar of emotions, or one can say this whole rigmarole of Maya will continue forever, So either I choose to remain in that trap, or I choose to exit that out. And the way to do it is, of course, like the Atma Jnanam. There is no other solution. At least I can't see any other solution.
This is the only way. I mean, Shankaracharya writes this again and again in all his bhashyams.
Yeah.
There is no other way for moksha. There is no other way of getting rid of sorrow in life. And this is the only way where I can know the real truth of myself and the universe. See, it is important to know what is the truth behind myself. Also important to know what is the truth behind the universe. And it is this consciousness which will give you the answer to both.
Correct. This whole conundrum of Jiva Jagat Ishvara.
Yes.
So finally, I am going to I'm declaring it, that enough of my interests in existential psychotherapy and whatnot, because that there's a limit to what kind of an answer it can give. It will give very flimsy answer to existence. Yeah.
See, the moment you get the taste of Vedanta, then you will never leave Vedanta. It's
very true.
You just get it. Once you get this, you will not leave it. You say, okay, I want to learn. I want to experience this truth, what is given by the scriptures.
Absolutely.
It is such an amazing thing that it is the only source for peace, security, and happiness. World is not the source for peace or security or happiness. Atma is the only source for peace,
Perfect.
for security, because everything in the world is insecure.
Correct.
Atma is the only thing which is secure. If you want to have security, if you want to cross this mortality, just claim this Atma, you will be immortal. That's all.
Perfect. Shekharji, can I just ask you very briefly? You went through it a bit fast, Adi Devika, Adhyatmika, this thing. The kind of interpretation which you gave today, I just want to hear it again, in terms of what we studied today. Yeah. Just briefly, please.
Okay, I'll explain to you in 2-3 minutes. If you want to know these three things, Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika, and Adi Daivika. The full details are given in Shankara Bhashyam in the Aitareya Upanishad.
Oh.
Full details. Where it says that creator is nothing but it is Adhyatmika, Adi Daivika, and Adi Bhautika. The whole creation. What it says is when the Lord means this Turiyam Brahma, it says it thought of creation, it visualized the creation. And how did this Atma or Brahman visualize the creation? The whole process is given there, and this format of creation is beautifully explained in Uttariya Bhashyam. And what it says is, first, the Lord said that I must have lokas. There should be Jagat. For the Jagat, the 14 lokas were created first according to the Aitareya Upanishad. So it is all Adi Bhautika.
Okay.
All the 14 lokas are material in nature, Adi Bhautika. Then, to control these 14 lokas, there has to be Lokapalas, which is Adi Daivika. Lokapalas means, for example, Surya Bhagavan is required to control the entire earth, to control certain functions in the earth. So there are Devatas who were created. So first is the Lokas, then is the Devatas.
Correct.
Then comes the Jiva, which is, so Adi Bhautika we have finished, Adi Daivika we have finished, then comes Adhyatmika. Adhyatmika means the Jivas, what body the Jiva should get. So the body of Jiva is all the organs, all the indriyams, all the five jnana indriyas, 5 karma indriyas, and the antakarana. 5 plus 5 plus 4, this 14 constitutes the Adhyatmika. So far, Jiva has not come. It is only these three have been created. Adi Bhautika, 14 lokas are created. The controllers of the lokas is then created, Devatas. Then the infrastructure of the body. For the body, it requires all these indriyams and so on. So first, only these were visualized in creation. Then the Jiva comes in. Now, for the Jiva, he has to operate this body. Then what did the Lord say? I will enter this body. That is what is called as Anupravesha.
Okay.
Then the Lord comes into this body, and that is what is said in the Bhagavad Gita as Aham Atma Gudakesha. That Atma enters. Atma means that that Lord enters the body for two things. One, to control the functions of these indriyams so that they can give dharma phala data. That means it can act in the world, and then it can reap the result of the karmas which the jivas have done in the previous lives. So this that Bhagavan, that law which existed before creation, which visualized the creation, enters the body, all the bodies. Your body, my body, the Bhagavan is there as aham, 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 I. That I is Bhagavan. And he is the one who is the karma phaladata. So there are two functions of Bhagavan in this body. One is to make sure that all these organs, they function well. And then the second function is the Lord gives the result of karma. Then what happens? Then the jiva enters the body. This is the macro picture of creation given in Aitareya Upanishad. So Adhyatmika, Adibhautika, this is one format of this these three. In other areas, there is another format given, that there could be obstacles because of Adi Devika, Adhyatmika, or Adi Bhautika. Therefore, we say Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Shanti.
Three Shantis are given, so that one Shanti is for stopping the obstacles from Adhyatmika. My own mind may be an obstacle. Therefore, I say one Shanti. The second Shanti is Adi Bhautika. In the environment, there could be some problems which may not allow me to get this knowledge. That is the second Shanti. The third Shanti is, we say Adi Devika. There could be Devic factors like rain comes and I cannot attend a class, or some temperature is there, some snowfall is there, I cannot listen to the class. These are all Adi Devika obstacles. We say Shanti for that also. So there are two different interpretations. The three Shantis for Adi Devika, Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika is one explanation. The second explanation, which is a very, very detailed explanation of creation, comes in Aitareya Upanishad.
Hopefully, we'll do it someday.
That's good.
We should do Adhyasa of Aitareya Upanishad also. Bhashya.
Yes.
No,
that's very detailed.
Yes, that's correct.
In the Nataka Depakam of Vidyaranya Swami, the second sloka, he has said that actually there are three types of people that Uttama, Madhyama, and Adhama, where accordingly the different lokas are allocated to them and all. But the Lord is there in all the three people actually. So that's how the Vidyaranya Swami has Nataka Dipaka, what he has said actually. I mean, Ekam Eva Advitiyam, when we see actually that everything, this whole drama, what is happening in this Jagat and all, the spectators are there, the producers are there, the actors are there, directors are there, everything is being created in the light of that light, which is there at the beginning, which is there at the end. So the drama starts, continues, and it ends, but the light remains as it is.
Yes.
So that is, we have done that, Nataka Dipaka, this thing.
That's correct. Yeah, Venkatesh, you are right. It is the same principle we use for consciousness. The consciousness is the light in which this entire drama of life goes on. So I come out of this body mind and then hold on to consciousness, the light, and say that I am free. That's all. And it is not one-time listening. You have to do listening continuously for a length of time, and then your mind itself will accept what the Veda says. That is the beauty. See, listening to Upanishad, what happens is, after some time, the mind accepts all what Veda is teaching us. Initially, it is very, very difficult for us to accept. But later on, what happens is, oh yes, this is right, this is right, this is right. Today, if Shama was talking I mean, I was stunned because the same Shama was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, was a different Shama. So today she is talking the language of Advaita, which is amazing. It's a big transformation. Thank you,
so much.
Venkatesh.
Thank you so much.
Hari Om. Happy New
Hari
Year.
Om.
Happy New Year to you. Thank you.
Happy New Year to all of you. Shall we close today?
Yes, with a good note.
Thank you, Deepak. Everybody,
Thank you.
wish you all a very, very happy New Year.
Thank you,
Worldwide, Happy New Year
Shekharji.
to you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to all of you.
धन्यवाद
I could
Thank
hear
you.
video
Thank you.
here.
thank you
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Hari Om.